Welcome to the Be Kind podcast with your co-hosts Seth and Ra. Presented by the Animal Advocates of South Central Pennsylvania.
Hello and welcome to the newest episode of the Be Kind podcast. I am Seth.
I am Ra.
And this is the Be Kind podcast, a presentation of the Animal Advocates of South Central Pennsylvania. Ra, I normally BS with you a little bit before we introduce our guest, but I'm way too excited to BS and beat around the bush. Why don't you tell people who we got here today?
And today we have the always wonderful Rissa Miller.
Yay! Rissa.
Thank you both for having me. It's a pleasure to be back on the Animal Advocates.
Thanks for coming on with us.
Yes, thank you so much.
I'm very glad to be here.
What are we going to talk about today, guys?
I thought a great episode would be to talk about what the vegan world was like 31 years ago when I went vegan.
31 years.
31 years ago.
That is a long time to be vegan.
Indeed.
So when is your anniversary?
It is January 10th.
January 10th. That's 3 days before my birthday.
Makes it an extra special day.
It does. Yeah, I like to turn it all into about me.
Absolutely.
Like, how can I get myself into this story is what I like to do.
We'll work you in somehow, don't worry.
Thank you. So 31 years. What drove you to veganism back then?
Well, it was actually a health crisis.
Oh.
So even growing up, I always wanted to be a vegetarian. But I was such a weird kid, and I already didn't fit in at school. And I think 3 vegetarians in my high school, everybody made fun of them. Boys used to throw lunch meat at them.
Wow.
I have this strong memory of a vegetarian girl walking around with a slice of bologna stuck on her backpack.
Oh,
Yeah, so I was like, I'm already so weird. I can't do this too. But I was leaning that way, and then I got really sick. So it's not a secret. I have ulcerative colitis.
As do I.
Oh, no kidding.
Yes.
So
How about that? It's all about me again.
Once again, we found a way to circle back and
Yes.
loop you in.
Huh.
So I got very sick, and I went to a doctor who told me the only answer for me was to have my colon removed, and I was 20.
Wow.
That didn't sound appealing. I was not there for it.
No.
And so he said, maybe you could go to this dietitian at the hospital. She might be able to make some suggestions, but probably not. And right in front of my mother, he told me that I probably wouldn't live to see 30.
Yowza, yow.
He told me that I should give up, leave college, and go home and wait to die. And I was like, well, I'm super stubborn, and I'll be damned if I'm going to do that.
Right.
So I did go see the dietitian, and she just happened to have read the most recent book at that time by Dr. John McDougall. I think it was the McDougall Plan.
Okay.
It had a yellow cover with no pictures, and it was all text, and it was not like cookbooks or medical books are today.
Yeah.
And I had to order it from an independent bookstore called Bookland, because there was no easy place to just get books back then.
Right.
And so Bookland got it in for me, and I went vegan overnight.
Wow.
And I went plant-based vegan overnight. And it saved my life. It completely changed everything for me. So I never needed surgery to this day. I was well within 7 months, and I was able to come off all medication, and I remain at that place now.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm not going to
Wonderful.
say that stress doesn't affect the colitis. It does. That would be a lie to say otherwise. But diet has mostly controlled it.
Well done.
Very effectively. Yeah. Now, I can't do a lot of fried food. I can't do a lot of, fun junk food. My body will be like, guess what? You're going to be in the bathroom.
Right.
Yeah.
It changed everything. And I was finally, this is going to sound funny, I felt like I was finally exactly where I was supposed to be. And let me tell you, 31 years ago, being vegan was super weird. I grew up in York, Pennsylvania, and then after that, I went to college in Bowling Green, Kentucky for a couple of years.
Ooh.
And I remember trying to explain to people what vegan was. And I remember one lovely woman saying, "Oh, does that mean you're from Las Vegas, honey?"
Oh, that's the first I've heard that. I like that.
Nobody understood how to handle that or what it meant or how it could ever be healthy, because, how can you survive without meat, without cheese? I even had people ask me my order, like stare me in the eye, like over and are you sure you don't want cheese on that? You don't want cheese on that? like say it over and over to me, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure.
Right. So what kind of things would you eat back then?
I made everything from scratch.
Right.
There was no decent soy milk out. There was Eden soy, and not too long into my journey, I found West soy. Eden soy has come a long way. It used to actually be gritty. Like, you would pour it out, and it was actually gritty. So I ate my cereal in the morning with orange juice.
Oh, my gosh. That's actually kind of a neat idea.
It was really good. You get used to it. And,
I bet.
Imagine.
You get used to it. You adjust. And I made all my own salad dressing. I made all my own bread because in the 90s, it was trendy to put egg wash on bread so that it'd be shiny and beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, now we know that soy milk will do the same thing, I guess, as long as it's not gritty. But that said, I got used to setting aside half a day every week to make my food for the week.
Yeah.
Meal prep became the norm for me because I was a college student and I had 3 jobs. So I was able to maintain my health and wellness through that entirely. And I pretty much cooked everything from scratch all the time. And I made a lot of bad choices, like things that didn't work out. Or I was like, oh man, I didn't love kale back then. I really had to learn how to prepare it. Nobody told me to massage it. I didn't know.
Now, was it even as easy to find something like kale back then?
No, it wasn't. A lot of the food options we have now simply weren't a thing 31 years ago. Like, you could get dates around Christmas time. They weren't in the grocery store all the time, especially not in a small town.
Yeah.
All the dried fruits now that we have a whole lot of options, that just wasn't a thing.
Yeah, that's what I was
Wasn't
thinking.
normal.
Like, even the stuff that we would make ourselves nowadays wouldn't be easy to find back
Yeah.
then.
And food science wasn't what it is now.
Yeah.
So nobody knew to make cashew cream. That wasn't a thing yet.
No
Used to-
aquafaba.
Yeah, no aquafaba. That was not a thing. So I learned to cook beans in a either pressure cooker or slow cooker, depending on what I wanted to mess with. And it was not the kind of pressure cookers they have now. It was the kind that were actually dangerous.
Oh, right.
You
yeah.
know, the ones that the lid would explode if you
Yeah.
didn't get it right.
Well, I still am freaked out. I know they're safe now, but I don't.
Oh, yeah.
I still feel weird. I'm like,
Instant Pots are great.
It took
Thinking
me a
about-
really long time to get my Instapot out of the box because I was a little worried about it.
Right.
Yeah. That's fair, though. That's fair.
I use it a lot now for
Yeah.
beans. Yeah.
you know,
Man,
beans, they're the magical fruit.
That's what I hear.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. That's all I'm going to say about it, but they are. So anyway, I'm sorry, go on.
Can we make it about you?
I try. I do try pretty hard.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, we'll come back to you in a minute.
Okay, thank you.
So, you know, I think that one of the hardest things about being vegan 31 years ago was socializing. Was trying to explain to people why I was doing this, what it meant, how did it fit in. It didn't. And even as a college student, I had a lot of trouble fitting in with people and finding people who were cool to hang with me because my food was so weird.
Were you the first vegan that you knew? Like, other than if you knew of celebrities, but like somebody that
There
you
were no
actually
celebrity vegans out back then that I
knew?
know
Okay. Okay.
of. I was the first vegan I knew for a long time.
Yeah.
And I knew a couple of other vegetarians. And I have to give props to 2 people I used to work with at the York Dispatch newspaper, taught me to make tofu and minute rice and things like that. My friend Leslie and my former editor Don were both the vegetarians I knew. And they helped me learn to do those basic things before I went back to college in Kentucky. So it was great to at least have that much mentorship in food prep, which was not the food prep my mother knew.
And 31 years ago would have been pretty much pre-internet, right?
Absolutely pre-internet. That was not a thing yet. There were no blogs. There was no YouTube. There were no cookbooks available without ordering them in a mail order catalog.
Right, which you couldn't do online. You actually had to go
No,
somewhere.
you actually had to be lucky enough to find something. And I mean, I was fortunate. I did run into the Vegetarian Resource Group, who I would later work for as the editor of the Vegan Journal many years down the road. They printed a lot of vegan recipes. Even as Vegetarian Journal, they were mostly a vegan situation. And they had a quarterly, well, it was quarterly when I was there. It was every other month back then, magazine. And so that was where I found a lot of recipes. Vegetarian Times was being printed then, and about half of their recipes would be vegan. And I did learn to adapt. Now, vegan cheese wasn't a thing yet.
Right.
They did have a product called Soya Kaas, which was kind of like a pencil eraser. Similar texture.
That
kind
sounds delicious.
It was it was what we had. And half the time when you purchased it, it was already moldy.
Oh.
Wow.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah, it was a real treat. Yeah. But I was delighted the first time I saw it. I thought it was going to be exciting, and I opened it up, and it had this like strange translucent block. I was like, what are you? Why are you so odd? And you smell like a pencil eraser. I had invested, if I remember correctly, like $6.99 in it, and I was in it.
Ooh.
I was in it 31 years ago.
Oh yeah, that's
That
like
was a
30
lot.
bucks.
Yeah. I was in it to win it with that Toya cost, let me tell you. Yeah, I ate it on my enchiladas, I believe, and it was awful. So bad. But even within the framework of it being in Kentucky, I found 2 places that I could eat, and they got to know me, and they always had food for me. One was a Japanese restaurant called Yuki, where I became their front of house for a long time. For the 3 years I lived there, pretty much, I made friends with the owner, and he would make vegan sushi, and they actually adapted their tempura recipe to take out the eggs and use ginger ale.
Oh,
Ooh,
ginger
very nice.
ale.
And so it was a lovely light batter, and that's how they would make, they just changed their tempura, and that's how they made it. And then there was a fantastic family-owned Mexican restaurant, and she always made me potato enchiladas and adapted a few of her recipes that every time I wanted to eat, I could go to one of those 2 places.
Very nice.
It was a way to feel at home, you know? And my friends were great. They would just go to eat at those 2 places with me.
Awesome. Now I have to stop and go back. Is ginger ale a known egg replacer?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, I mean, anything that's carbonated
Right.
you can use because it depends on what you're replacing it for.
This is for a deep fry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This
So-
is new. This is all new to me.
Yeah. It
Okay.
it depends what kind of egg you're replacing.
And what it has to do chemically.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, we'll have another episode about that at some point.
That could be a whole episode.
That'd
does-
be a great episode, but
Mhm.
we'd have to do some baking beforehand.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no.
No.
Well,
All right,
that
so,
way you can put them all out in front of you and see the difference.
Yeah.
I did this once, so
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a huge baker, but I know applesauce and flax. That's pretty much all I know.
Oh, there's so
There's
much
so
more than
many
that.
more.
There's so much more than that.
Yeah.
All right. This is me being vulnerable.
Have you heard of the box cake hacks?
I don't even know what words you just said.
So, cake mixes come like the box mix.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And some of them are accidentally vegan.
Ah.
You can get those and mix them with a can of soda, and then you don't need any of the butter, the oil, the egg, any of that. You just bake them, and then you
Yeah,
can have
it's called a dump cake.
Uh-huh.
And you can have your cake and eat it too.
I'll be darned.
Mhm.
All right.
Mhm.
Okay, sorry for the sidetrack.
Now you have an assignment,
I'll definitely do that.
Mm-hmm.
should you choose to accept it.
I do.
Trying to talk about, now I went vegan for health reasons, but I was always there ethically. It was just a natural step, you know? And so I was like, oh, this is a good fit.
Right.
You know, I was like, this is a thing I always wanted to do, and it's an even better fit now. And so that wasn't a thing that you could really bring up without people looking at you like you had literally lost your mind, especially in Kentucky. Nothing against Kentucky. It wasn't a forward-thinking place when it came to animal sentience,
Right.
at least not 31 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I would say something like, you shouldn't eat that cow, they'd be like, why? It's stupid. I'm like, do you know that? Like, how do you know that with such confidence?
Right.
Because I wasn't sure, because, you know, I had grown up around horses, and horses are definitely smart.
Mm-hmm.
I might argue that they have really big brains, like cows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're probably right about that.
Anyway, it was just not a topic that you broached,
Right.
because everybody would literally think you had gone crazy.
I can imagine, because it's still not easy sometimes.
It's still not easy.
So 30
and
years ago.
Yeah, people still hold a certain belief system around animal intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's starting to change gradually, but I think a lot of folks don't see animal intelligence as a thing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have questions about a lot of things, but anyway, you know, I think it's really been a fascinating, I hate to use a word like journey, but it has been a fascinating journey going from vegan in the 90s to vegan now,
Mm-hmm.
I can imagine.
because I've seen so much change. I've gotten to be part of it in many ways because I was involved with sanctuaries. I was involved with being a tour guide at sanctuaries and working in a magazine and all kinds of other, I always say, name the kind of vegan activism. I've done it. I've done it. I've written grants. I've done it all, except for maybe like be a vegan celebrity, because I'm not a celebrity.
You're at the very least a vegan local celebrity.
For sure.
Okay, well, we'll go with that. But I ran Baltimore Vegan Drinks for a decade. I have done a lot of things within the vegan community, and I've seen it change and grow. You know, the day that Burger King rolled out a vegan burger, I think I like kind of had an emotional moment, because I was like, I never thought I would see this.
I can imagine. I'd only been vegan a couple years at that point, and I actually teared up a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it was just unbelievable to see it on the menu. Mm-hmm. I can't imagine having been a vegan as long as you had at that point.
Well, I made sure to look up some important dates in veganism. So I'm going to say the first one for me was 1996. Mm-hmm. That is when Silk Soy Milk came out.
As a side note, that's the year I graduated high school, if we would like to just
Fantastic.
Really tie it into me.
So 1996, Silk Soy Milk comes out, changes soy milk forever, because before we had that kind of like gritty stuff in a box, and it was sort of like grayish beige. Ugh. And Silk Soy Milk looked like milk, baked like milk. It's the first time after many years that I had breakfast cereal with a milk in it instead of orange juice.
Ooh. Oh my gosh.
And it was a revelation. Nowadays everybody's like, oh, Silk, there's so many better. I'm like, you have no idea.
Silk is still good.
I love
it is.
Silk.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's still very accessible. Mm-hmm. I've seen it at like CVS.
Right. Yes.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Sometimes at a Sheetz, I'll see. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah. So that was my first big one. I do want to also note that Tofurkey Roast came out in 1993.
Whoop, whoop. That is one of my favorite things in the world. I love Tofurkey Roast. And I don't even need to hear it from you, Orkin Bjorkin. Every time you bring up Tofurkey Roast, what do you say now? What's your refrain? It's so much smaller than it used to be.
Oh, yeah, it is.
It's
a lot smaller
than it used to be. Anyway,
I don't sound like that.
I was wondering how long you were going to let me do that. Okay, I'm sorry, go on.
Well, we get into the 2000s, things actually start to really change. One of the big ones was Morningstar Farms. Mm-hmm. Again, not super popular among vegans now, and people really like to complain about it, but at the time, groundbreaking. There was nothing like it beforehand. And a lot of their stuff that came out initially had egg white in it. So that wasn't for me, but I was so excited to see that entire wall of green in the freezer case that was not animal meats. It was a big change, and it was really exciting to see that.
What was the date on that one? Did that happen?
2002.
2002. I don't have anything for that. But anyway, I'm just curious.
We'll work on it.
I will.
Work on it, yeah. Daya launches in 2009.
There's another personal favorite of mine.
And again, something everybody likes to complain about. And I heard from the company reps at the Natural Food Products Expo, it is Daya. Like, have a nice Daya. It is.
I don't know if I can make that change. I've been Daya for...
I say Daya, too.
Yeah. Well, it's Daya.
Well, I'm telling you what I'm going to say, Rissa.
All right.
Yeah, I kind of feel like it is what the people say it is.
Yeah, that's right. So, the companies don't control my language.
Well, you all do you.
That's what I tend to do.
Yeah. So Daya comes out, and the same year, Gardein comes out.
Okay.
It was such a revelation. Vegan cheese that melted. It was not a thing before Daya. Daya. And the shreds and the way it didn't smell like erasers. And it was just so exciting. I think I went and bought one, and then I went back that night and bought the rest.
Wow.
Yeah. Because it was so very exciting to me.
Oh, my gosh. I can imagine. And you probably didn't know how long it was going to last.
It didn't last long at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I ate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fantastic.
I bet.
Yeah. I would never say if somebody's looking at veganism for health reason that any of these products are top of my list. They're not.
Right.
Of course.
But when you've been cooking for yourself for 10, 20 years, it's exciting to see a convenience food that you can keep on hand on a night when you're busy or when you are feeding someone that's not sure about lentils and kale, you know? Because that's not a jump everybody can make. And
right.
I think that's one of the other big parts of the years spanning out over veganism. I know that not everybody can immediately get on my page, and I completely understand that. And that's one of the things I always say, like when I see new vegans, I'm like, take it slow when you're telling your friends and family. Because if you go all in and you head in with the kale salad and, you know, it's not going to float. You've got to take it slow. Just because you're excited about it doesn't mean everybody around you is on your page. And forcing it pushes them away.
Yeah, you got to meet people where they are.
Precisely.
And having products like this that make it more normal to people is great.
Especially to kids. Especially to kids. A chicky nugget is a chicky nugget. Yeah. Especially if it's shaped like a dinosaur.
Well, I mean, my kids eat what I eat, so the weird stuff that I eat, my kids eat the weird stuff that I eat because that's what they're used to eating. They didn't grow up with McDonald's and they didn't grow up with that kind of thing. So
good on you.
Kids are used to eating what their parents eat or what their parents feed them.
Right. Yes.
So,
but then you were vegan, I assume, before some of these kids were born. But if you go vegan when the kid's 5 or 6, then all of a sudden you've got a little
right.
bit of
If you're
issue.
making significant diet changes, then
I would definitely agree, especially because if they're already in school, meat and dairy is normalized to them.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
And that's a big change.
Dealing with other kids is really hard too. Like you were saying in the beginning, kids are very mean to things that they don't understand.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they just don't have the filters yet that we grow as adults.
Some people grow.
Yeah, some people do. So the other great thing that happened in the early 2000s was Earthlings came out in 2005. It was the very intense animal rights movie narrated by Joaquin Phoenix. I didn't even make it through the whole thing without crying twice. I actually cried watching the trailer. I'm not gonna lie. I was already vegan at that point, and of course, even I at that moment had a little hit of I wish everybody could see this. And it's interesting because a lot of non-vegans I knew said it's too violent, and I'm like, I agree, but also you're eating a hamburger,
right?
You know, like it is too violent.
It was a very hard watch.
It was, and I still would put that in my top 5 pantheon of vegan movies.
Okay.
Personally, I still think it holds up.
What do you got? Let's hear the top 5.
Well, we're gonna get there.
Okay.
Don't make it about you. So.
Well, I'm not allowed to say anything.
So, moving forward into the 2010s, we get Beyond Meat and Impossible. I was extremely privileged to work for Beyond Meat for a while. I was a recipe developer when they brought out Beyond Chicken.
Oh.
Yeah. They actually hired me to do a whole cookbook, and then they never printed it. I should have brought it along tonight to show, because I know you like visual aids.
Yes.
But I'm injured right now, and I couldn't get it out of the box. It was great working with them. They were a fantastic company. I really, really liked that. The opportunity was great. I think that Beyond Meat and Impossible Burgers, no matter what you think about them, made veganism normal. I think that one thing going into so many places, including many meat sections in major grocery chains, made veganism normal to a lot of people who otherwise would have thought it was still weird.
Absolutely.
So that they both came out in 2014.
Both same year?
No, 2014 was Beyond Meat, brought out the Beyond Burger. They brought out the chicken the year before.
Okay.
And then 2016, Impossible Foods brings out the Impossible Burger. And right around then, we also have all the drama, the excitement with the mayonnaise.
Oh, the mayonnaise story.
Hampton Creek's Just Mayo actually draws lawsuits from Hellmann's. I was like, could you give them better press?
Right.
Could you do them a bigger favor? Yeah. Vegan options start showing up at chains. The documentaries come out like crazy in the 2010s. We have Forks Over Knives, which is huge, 2011. Cowspiracy, 2014. And The Game Changers in 2018 with the athletes. Wow. I saw all of them in the movie theaters because I'm a big nerd. And it was like me and maybe 12 other people at each one. Fantastic. Each time I was excited because they reached new audiences, and it started to normalize veganism even more. And of course you get all the people showing up saying things like, oh, you won't get enough protein, or oh, it's not actually a healthy diet. Those are all made up studies. I'm like, no, the China study was not made up. Actually, it's one of the longest studies in human history of health. How can that be made up?
Well, they just would prefer that was the case. They prefer it was made up. So
yeah, I'm sure that's true. I thought they were amazing films, each of them. And I know that the Cowspiracy folks went on to make Seaspiracy and talk about aquatic life as well. But they didn't convince everybody, and that's okay. But those were all sort of major things, especially between 2014 and 2019. We get vegan options at Chipotle, Subway, White Castle, Burger King, Dunkin', and Starbucks. And I never thought I'd see the day.
I can imagine.
I never thought I'd see the day.
Yeah.
Since you brought up Dunkin', can we talk about how sad I am that they don't have vegan donuts here, but in the UK they have like 28 vegan donuts? Like, can we just talk about how sad that is? Like,
Absolutely.
why can we not have that here?
Well, all
Because
the
people
stuff.
don't support it economically. So that's actually why I did vegan drinks. Because I knew that if we could put money into restaurants' accounts, they would continue to have vegan options.
That's true.
So it always comes back to the money. Right? If vegan options are selling, restaurants will have them. If people are buying vegan stuff from vegan places and vegan businesses, those businesses continue to prosper. I had an issue with people who were like, you should only support vegan businesses. Because if you don't go into other kinds of businesses and support vegan stuff, they're never going to have it.
Right. We need the bigger companies to
Exactly.
make the changes.
I agree.
Right.
You need to get bigger money behind it. And this was always my point of view as an activist. I mean, however veganism reaches someone is how it reaches them. But how you support it has everything to do with how you spend your money.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. It's economic activism that always counts.
And there's a lot of different opinions about it, obviously.
There
like
are.
if you go to Burger King to get the Whopper, then you're giving money to a company that sells animal flesh. But obviously, we're not going to turn the world into a vegan world without those companies.
No,
We
you're not.
could. You never know. Like, maybe for Burger King specifically, maybe their sales of Impossible Whoppers will start outnumbering regular Whoppers, and maybe they'll just discontinue and they'll become a vegan, like
Right,
in 10
right.
or 15 years from now. Like,
that's
we
what I'm saying.
don't know.
Yeah.
It could
Yeah.
it could happen, but if people aren't there now supporting it, ordering it, buying it, then they're going to take it off the menu, and that'll never happen.
Right.
So, yeah.
No, that was one of my probably long-term conclusions about being a vegan this many years. Is kind of like, it's one thing to go out and table and to have a bake sale or whatever else, and those things matter. All those little kinds of activism matter, but where the big change happens is where there is large amount of money. That's just the way it is.
Right. That's the system that we
That
live
is the
within.
system we currently live in. I'm sure that's an unpopular opinion, but it is the world we have now.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's we have to be able to, we have to work to make change from within the system we actually live in.
Correct.
Not the
Instead
one we
of-
wish we lived
Right.
Right.
It's wonderful to have ideals. However, here's where we are.
in. Right.
Before we get there, we have to work with what we have here.
And of course, almost every grocery store in the whole world is not a vegan grocery store. So
very few are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to give money to Burger King because they sell meat, but you'll happily buy your vegan products at your grocery store that has a ton of animal products. It's almost all animal products.
Absolutely.
It's a strange disconnect, but you know.
I agree. I agree. But I mean, it's even if aside from places like Burger King, I only ever took Baltimore vegan drinks to small businesses.
Right.
I would go in, introduce myself, and I'd be like, hey, I'm going to bring 30 to 60 of my closest friends, and we're going to have a vegan night here, and I'm going to help you put together a menu. And people started to say yes. And sure enough, I would crowd their restaurant with vegans eager to support vegan options. And for 10 years, it worked. And then the pandemic hit. But that's okay. You know, everything changes.
Right.
Yeah.
But that said, it was an extremely effective system.
Well, it's time to start it back up around here. Well, we do have
You have Anna
we do
here.
have Anna doing it here.
Yeah, this
yes.
area has Anna. She does little mini pop-ups.
Oh yeah,
And then
some
I think
larger
we
ones.
have that barn burner coming up.
the barn burner,
Yeah.
which is a vineyard, Chloe vineyard something. Oh, it's something like that.
You should have her on to have her talk about
Well,
herself.
trust me, that is in the old noggin here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, she's fantastic. Love Anna.
Oh yeah.
So in the 2020s, where has veganism gone these past few years? I think that it is more accessible than ever. And I know that not everybody feels that way, but let me tell you from where I came from. Back in my day, I sound like the grandma I am.
We used to walk in the snow to get burgers.
We used to walk in the snow to get tofu. Seth. What are you talking about? No, It was not accessible 31 years ago. I had to make my own bread. The folks who tell me now it must be so hard. I'm like, no, not really.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's all your point of view.
Right.
I mean, anything can be difficult if you say it's going to be.
Isn't there that expression, you have to choose your hard?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, people ask me, how did you stay vegan so long? I say, well, it was one decision at a time. That's it. Every single time I'm choosing to eat or consume or buy clothes or whatever else, it's one decision at a time. That's all anybody can really do.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it. It's a simple answer.
That is a great answer.
Mm-hmm.
It's my conclusion of 31 years. But I think it's super accessible now. There is YouTube and TikTok and Instagram and all these places where you can get great vegan recipes for free. Never mind the stacks and stacks of cookbooks available, even at a local library.
Right.
There are places now to get a vegan mentor for free, online or in person. I've done that many times myself. It's very rewarding. But just so easy now. I can go into Target and find a handbag labeled vegan leather.
Right, yeah.
That
Shoes.
was never in my brain
Seth,
30
what are you
years
going to
ago.
tell us? What can you get?
Shoes. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not talking about myself here, although
Oh,
I
I
have
thought
bought
we
some
were
vegan
going to talk
shoes.
about like deodorant or something.
Oh, you want me to go off on the deodorant again?
I want you to talk about deodorant again. So I actually, I actually did go and I looked at the Dove for Men products just to see what they said, and
Right.
they do clearly say it on it. It was very
Yeah, the
Very
Dove
good to
Men
see.
Plus Care products all have the PETA logo on the back. They're all completely,
Mm-hmm.
And I
Nice.
had a rant about it on our last episode because I buy them on purpose, not accidentally. But,
So you smelled better.
oh, I smell great.
Yep.
And no animals harmed to make it happen.
Fantastic.
Yes, but anyway, we derailed you.
Oh no, I'm perfectly good. I also love that thanks to Oatly, that oat milk is now a global phenomenon and so good. Oat milk is so good. I feel like it can be used in just about every application I have found, in baking, in soups, in coffee drinks.
Is oat milk your favorite?
Depends what I'm making.
I feel like oat is my favorite.
It's good for a lot. Gluten-free baking, I prefer soy because the protein makes a stronger bond.
Okay, yeah, that
But
makes sense.
that's just science. Don't let me get started. And then there's some like curries. I still like coconut milk.
Oh well, yeah, that's different.
But yeah, for most things, I think oat milk works really beautifully. It has creaminess. It has just enough fat. It's a really great option. And thanks, people at Oatly, for bringing that to us in the 2020s. The other thing that I love that came out in 2024 was the twin experiment on Netflix.
Yes.
Where they took genetically almost identical sets of twins and did one on a healthy omnivorous diet and the other on a healthy vegan diet, a plant-based vegan diet. And the results just spoke for themselves. It was really fantastic to see that because everybody's like, oh, it's genetics. I'm like, it's not genetics. It's you build your body with what you eat.
Right.
You literally are what you eat.
Right, yeah.
So, yeah.
Can you tell, in case anyone who's listening doesn't know, why you keep making sure to say plant-based vegan?
I can do that.
Yes, that'd be great.
So legally, plant-based does not have a definition. Just to be clear, plant-based legally means nothing. In fact, if you are looking at a product with a label plant-based, I would read the ingredients because I picked up a bag of cookies labeled plant-based and it had sardine oil in it. Which delicious in cookies, I'm sure. But I have so many questions.
Yes.
But it is sardines are not plants, to be sure. Plant-based legally means nothing, just like the word healthy means nothing on a label. But when I say plant-based whole foods, like a plant-based diet, what I mean is something that has no processed food in it. It is considered to use another slang word, a more clean eating system. And it is the one they normally use when they are putting science about the vegan diet to the test.
Right.
It does not include oil, salt, or processed sugars. So when I say processed sugars, I mean like your white and brown sugars. You can still have maple syrup or dates or things like that.
Fruit juice.
Fruit juice. Yeah. But there is no olive oil in the cooking. There's all pan sauteing with water. And if you're sitting there thinking like that must be awful, actually it's really not that different.
Right.
You can still brown things, and also it's cheaper and way better for your heart.
Yeah.
So that is how I eat most of the time. I love a breakfast salad. And most people are like, Rissa, you're so weird. But I mean, that's a total different subject. So, yes, I love a breakfast salad. I think it's a great way to start the day. It gives my body longer to break down something raw. And I put a lot of protein in that, i.e. beans, quinoa, baked tofu, and start my day with leafy greens. Leafy greens are probably my favorite vegetable. Lots of leafy greens. All of them. I like them all now. I didn't used to like kale. I love it now. Give me more.
You massage it now, though, don't you?
I do. Yeah. It's so tense, Seth. It really
it
needs to
it
be
really
relaxed.
Does. Kale needs to chill out.
It does. It does. Especially the curlier it is, the more you really need to
I do
rub
prefer
it.
the dinosaur kale.
Yeah, it's a little. You don't have to massage it quite as much. Yeah, it gets really tender when you steam it too. I do eat a mostly whole food plant-based diet. Now, I have a birthday coming up. I plan to eat cupcakes. They are not whole food plant-based. Yeah, but here we are.
Right.
I'm going to have a cupcake for breakfast, as is my tradition on my birthday.
Have to treat yourself every
That's
now
right.
and then. Treat yourself.
But yeah, no, I don't hold strictly to the plant-based whole food diet, but it is probably 80% of what I eat. But I'm also really used to it.
Yeah, that helps, especially getting used to the cooking, because a lot of people nowadays are not used to cooking that much.
It's true. It's true. I make large batches of food and freeze things. I do things to help myself out. I feel like it's the best form of self-care, really. Maybe that's another thing I would say I've learned in 31 years being vegan.
What do you mean exactly?
Cooking foods to nourish and support my body.
Okay, gotcha.
Probably one of the best forms of of self-care and healthcare
Yeah.
that I can think of.
Yeah.
Because whenever I sort of slide, that's when my body lets me know that, oh, you still have colitis, Rissa. Can you make it about you?
I have colitis too.
See?
I can always make it about me.
Perfect.
So I believe that's all we have for now, but we're going to revisit a little bit more with Rissa in a follow-up episode.
I look forward to it.
It's going to be fantastic. So, from a Miss and a Mista...
Thank you to Rissa.